Hi there, Joy Horner here. Just adjusting the screen a bit there. Yeah, just want to talk a bit about the period after birth, because as a midwife and antenatal educator, the thing that people least concentrate on when they're pregnant is the time after birth. Most of it is spent preparing for the birth, which is really, really important. You know, really important that you get all your information together and you can make empowered choices. But it's the same after birth, and you really need to plan for your care, especially at the moment, especially because midwife visits may be cut down, because your doula may not be able to visit you at home, because your friends and relatives might not be able to do the care that they'd normally do at home. Welcome, guys. Yeah, so it's really important to plan for a really good postpartum period. And how you can do this is just get super organised. You know, think about the realities of life after birth. And it's hard to imagine if you're pregnant for the first time. You know, it's really hard to imagine how it's going to be. I remember being a midwife and an antenatal teacher, and you know, having my baby for the first time, getting baby home and thinking, I don't know what I'm doing. You know, and I'm left in charge of this vulnerable little person like 24 hours a day. How am I going to do that? And yeah, it felt quite overwhelming, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this. So the practicalities are that your baby will need you 24 hours a day for several weeks, if not months. Yeah, and if you're on your own, you've got to be doubly organised about this. Normally people have got extended family, you know, friends that can come and stay. We haven't got that at the moment. You've got to manage your life in a way where you can take care of yourself and your baby. So it all starts with preparation in pregnancy. So you're going to think about how limited your time will be after birth, and you're going to cook up lots of meals, and whenever you have a meal you're going to double it and put half in the freezer. So after birth, all you have to do is heat up your meal, put it in a pan, put it in the microwave if you use microwaves. You've also got to plan for whatever would be easiest for you in the first few weeks as you recover, because bear in mind, as you're getting to know how to care for a new baby, you've also got to care for yourself, and you've got to recover from the pregnancy, the labour, the birth. Your body's got a lot of repairing to do. Even if you've had a straightforward natural birth, you've got no tears, no stitches, your body's still got a lot of work to do. And it's going to be using up energy producing milk. Whether you breastfeed or not, the energy goes into making the milk in the first week. So you've really got to take it easy and let your body repair. Now, other cultures have traditions around this, and I'm sure we did in the UK. I'm sure they've just died out. And when I started my nurse training in the 80s, women still had a lying in period. You know, it wasn't a confinement as it used to be called. But even after a normal birth, people stayed in hospital for at least 5 days after a normal birth, so that they could establish the feeding. Midwives were on hand. They could recover. They didn't have to go home and cook the dinner and look after all the other kids. And I'm sure people recovered quicker because of that. So now you haven't got that. And in a non-COVID situation, you can still recreate that. You know, you can, well, you still can to some extent, actually. Yeah. So we're going to talk about the baby moon and how important it is to have this 2-week rest period after birth. Most people can't do a 6-week rest period. That is what would be ideal. But most people go a bit stir crazy after 2 weeks. So imagine 2 weeks of being cared for. You can still arrange this, even in lockdown. So what you've got to do is get your friends and family together. I mean, virtually or on the phone. or in a safe outdoor meeting space. Get your friends and family together and say, look, I'm really going to need help after the birth. I know you guys want to help me. This is what I need. I need one of you to cook a meal for me each day for 14 days. Now, most people have got 14 friends or family members. This is not an outlandish thing to ask. I'd love to cook a meal for one of my friends or family if they just had a baby. In fact, I do for my baby group on occasion if they live locally. Yeah, if I think they need that extra bit of love. But yeah, ask your family, sort this out beforehand and work out a rota. So on day 1, it will be mum brings a meal. On day 2, it'll be my friend. On day 3. So you've got it all written down. And then when you have your baby, you phone the first person on the list and say, hey, I've had my baby. I'd like a meal tomorrow. And they don't get to do anything else except bring you the meal. They can leave it at the door. They can maybe catch a glimpse of baby through the window. But yeah, their gift to you is to be in service to you. They can help in other ways. Friends and family can contribute to a pot. They can get you, I don't know, a dog walker for 2 weeks. They can get you a postpartum doula if your doula's not self-isolating. Yeah, there are lots of ways that friends and family can still help. But the onus is on you to actually rest and recover. So in the first week, you need to stay in your bedroom if at all possible. So stay in your pyjamas, don't get up, don't get dressed. If you get up and get dressed, you look like the woman who takes care of everyone else. If you stay in your pyjamas in your bedroom, you look like someone who needs taking care of. So that's lesson number 1. Hopefully you've got a partner or someone you live with who can bring you meals. So you shouldn't be cooking. You shouldn't be doing any housework at all. You shouldn't be lifting anything heavier than your baby for the first 6 weeks because your muscles are still really quite pliable and you can injure yourself. So don't. And you can increase your blood loss and that may lead to you having to go back into hospital. So yeah, just don't do the housework. It has to wait until you can do it, or you can have a friend that can do it. So that's just a little bit about the postpartum. Please ask me questions if you want. Yeah, I've been looking after people for 20 odd years after having their babies, and people need looking after. People need the care, and people need to know where they can ask questions. We all feel like total newbies when we have our baby for the first time. We don't know what we're doing. But yeah, be reassured that if you were the last woman on earth and you'd had your baby, you will figure out how to change a nappy and how to feed that baby and how to keep that baby safe. You don't need experts, but it's useful to have someone that you can call. And this is another bit of your preparation. So basically, this is a hot topic for me because I've just spent weeks, absolutely weeks, making a course, an online course, because I know the support isn't out there at the moment. There we go, just got a notification come through. The support isn't out there and people need good support and good information. And yes, you can Google, you can go on the internet and say, what colour should my baby's poo be on day 3? But you'll get so much information. How are you going to know that it's the right information, that it's quality information? And you might come across stuff that will scare you. Perhaps that's an indication you ought to go and see your doctor. Because we can't really advise online because we haven't got the full picture. So I've got this absolutely fantastic Life After Birth course. I will put a link in if anyone's interested. And I also do coaching. I also do one-to-one appointments if people just want to give me a call after they've had their baby. You get 15 minutes for free, or you can sign up for an hour. You can get a whole list of questions together and have me for a whole hour. And yeah, just get a bit of reassurance and a bit of love after you've had your baby, because you've done such a fantastic thing. Hannah, I don't want people turning up at lunchtime for an hour to see the baby or 7 o'clock for dinner. I definitely learnt the first time I need to be more assertive and establish some ground rules. Yeah, especially at the moment. No visiting. Nobody gets to visit the baby. I was pretty strict on this when I was a midwife. I said, use me as an excuse. Say to your friends and family, the midwife has said I must not have visitors. Babies are really vulnerable to infection. I mean, what we know about COVID is they're not particularly, they seem pretty resilient to it. But, they can get other infections. I've always said, limit your visitors in the first couple of weeks. Your baby doesn't need all that external stimulus and possible bugs that people are bringing in, and if and when people are allowed back in, again, basic hygiene. I've always recommended get people to wash their hands as soon as they come in the house. Your uncle comes to visit, he's probably been picking his nose on the way over. Your friend's been driving over quite merrily, eating something, scratching her hair. Get people to wash their hands when they come in the house. We all know that now, don't we? But we didn't before this COVID thing. I had to tell people. You don't know what, but look, I'm touching my face. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just rambling on now. So yeah, I'll post the links to my coaching and my courses, because I think they're pretty fantastic actually. And yeah, I'd like to support more people, and I can't do it physically as a midwife anymore. So yeah, all my 20 years knowledge is in the courses. So lovely to see you all. And yeah, if you've got any questions, just put them in below and I'll answer them later. Okay, bye. Bye everyone.